I'm Stephen McGarvey. I'm the General Manager here at Victor Manufacturing. I've been here 2 stints, so it must be alright because I come back. I had my arm twisted up Mr. I've been all in total probably about 10, 11 years. Aaron Williams is our Operations Director. He's been here since
about 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
But he's still here. He's alright. Daniel Lunn is Operations Manager up at Laurel Street. He's been here since he was 12. He's been here a while. You've got Lauren Faulkner, who works in our commercial department, and Lauren used to be, what's the dance troupe you're in? Dance troupe. You've got Phil Williams, the owner, who's been here forever as well. Haley Dean, who we liberated from one of our customers, has been here since just before Christmas. Have I missed any more, Victor?
Yes.
No. I miss Mike because he's actually wearing a suit for the first time I've ever seen. So Mike Stewart is our manufacturing director. And I get how many here, Mike?
Well, too long.
2 long? Far too long. So that's us in a nutshell. Thirdly, obviously I'm not from around these parts, so if I start talking fast or you don't understand us, just ask one of these team and they'll translate for you, hopefully, because they don't really understand. Just going to quickly run through a bit about Victor, a bit about the history of Victor, a bit about what we do, how we do it. Nothing too in depth because it's a early morning, so we're doing the boys. So just a bit about Victor's history. So it started on the site in 1944, making tea towel dryers and paint tins, believe it or not. By the 1960s, with a boom in the restaurant and catering industry, we started to diversify slightly and started to make bigger tea towel dryers, which we now call hot cupboards, just a bit more power in them, and other serving equipment. On to the 1990s, where we're at the forefront of the serving equipment, and we actually won an award at Hotel Olympia, which is our UK industry's biggest trade show. So we won an award for our Caribbean unit, which is aptly named considering we're in a back street in Bradford, which is good. Big thing happened in the late 1990s. The owner at the time, Mr. Mountain, passed away, and the company was put into a trust. So it was run for the good and benefit of the employees, which helped out when things got a bit tight in 2013. 2010, we started to develop better products. So our Optimax Square unit is it's an open-fronted retail refrigerated unit, which was put on the Carbon Trust list. Now the Carbon Trust list is a list that's independently tested. And any product on the Carbon Trust list picks up, for the end user, picks up a tax benefit. So it's not the easiest list to get onto, and we were the first manufacturer of a kind to get an open fronted retail, which was a bit of a good one for us. 2013, when all around we decided to crash and the economic crisis, we managed somehow to increase our turnover by 37%. And that comes back to being in the trust and maybe not having that pressure of having an owner or a PLC. So we managed to go through it, push through it with our plans at the time, and come out the other side pretty much gleaming. Yeah. 2017 is where we're just getting bursting point by this point. So we added 2 new venues. We added Laurel Street, which is about 200 yards up the road there, and we also added a warehouse at the side of Bradford and Breckenbeck, where we hold a lot of store-held products. Just to try and ease up some space and the pressure on the factory. And then last year was a big year, as in Mr. Williams. The trust came to an end, so the company was going to go on the open market, which obviously we didn't want. So Phil managed a management buyout, so Victor's back in the family name, so we've got Phil and little man here. Yeah. The profile company, I mean, in this day and age in any industry, to have 75 years of continuous manufacturing expertise is pretty much unheard of. So it puts me in good stead with customers with regards to having the confidence that Victor's always going to be there. They know for a fact if they buy a Victor product, it's going to last 40 years. To the point where me and Danny just been talking, sometimes we'll actually walk past and kick them just to see if we can get rid of them. So we've got that expertise there, and Mike's been here for all 75 of them years. We supply, and again, this always amazes people because they come and they say we're humble aboard, and we supply some of the biggest names. I mean, we supply the 2 biggest names on the retail market at the minute on the high street. So we supply Costa, we make all their refrigerated units, and we supply Greggs with all the front counters. Which, to be fair, some people think we've got no right in winning, but we supply them and we service them and we do well with them. We've done some other jobs recently in the last year. Anyone here from MA5? Not right. We did Downing Street, which we're not talking about. We've put units into Buckingham Palace. We've just sent a job to Libya. Yeah, it was Libya. Just sent a job to Libya, so all over the place. Not only in mainland UK, I've also sent stuff. We do quite well in Dubai. We did the Hilton Hotel in Dubai, which was a big one. We also did some equipment for the Marriott Bay Resort in the picture here in Fiji. And believe it or not, this is where myself and Danny stayed when we went to do the site survey. Maybe he's not. Since 2012, 2013, the turnover's grown by 51%, which again, in any industry at this minute in time is a good result, which has allowed to increase the workforce by 15%. So at the minute we're sitting on, how many staff in there?
120.
120 staff in a minute, so a big workforce, and the majority of them workforce come from the surrounding areas as well, so apart from me. A little bit out of the way. Production wise, you'll see when we're going to take you through the factory, so production wise you'll see we've got a laser, state of the art laser sat there. We've got 4 press brakes, 2 of them are automated, so they work in conjunction with our IronCAD package, which is our software package. The software package was great for us because any R&D, any new products now we can do all on the 3D rendering, where in the past we'd have to build a prototype, we'd rip it apart, we'd build another prototype. It's costly and time consuming. And a lot of the R&D we do now is a lot of it's based on the customer and what they want and what they need. So we might have a unit for a Costa Coffee, say, and what we'll do, we'll build that for Costa Coffee, but then we'll cascade that down into our other products as well. So we work well like that. Every single unit that leaves that warehouse is tested, fully tested. The idea behind this is obviously A, the customer confidence. You don't want a unit getting to site and then just breaking down straight away. B, our cost of service is kept down as well, which is ideal. And again, it's just the confidence in the product, knowing that nothing's going to leave this. Hopefully, nothing's going to leave this factory substandard. For us, the other benefit is in our industry, and especially with the hot cupboards and the kitchen passes. A lot of our stuff is stress replacement, so if a chef has a kitchen pass and his kitchen pass goes down, he wants that kitchen pass straight away, so he cannot wait 10 days for that to be replaced. So we hold about 99 products in stock at Breckenbeck. There's probably £250,000 worth of stock there, which is available on 3 working days back to a site, depending on where the site is.
And that's just Victor product. That's for customers like Greg's, and for Costa, we've probably got 300, 400,000, same for Greg's as well. Finished product waiting to be called off on a daily basis for each one of them.
Now, Victor, we've almost got 2 sides of the business. So we've got the standard product side, which will be the side that you're seeing manufactured later on your tour. So your hot cupboards, your hot hold units, your drop-in units. So these are just some standard products. Altogether in the catalogue, we've got a portfolio of 1,200 products, which is a massive range. So basically, we've got something for everyone, which means it lets me get into every sector. So whether it be pub, whether it be B&I, whether it be retail, we've got something for everyone, which is again just opens up the market for it. As I mentioned, there's 99 core product lines that we hold in stock for customers, and they're standard stock. Anything with a little bell and whistle on, so a little change. So you might have a hot cupboard and you want a different colour finish. We work on 10 working days lead time as well, which again in the industry is a lot less than some other people. Now the other side of the business, which is what me and Dan like to call the sexy side of the business. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's where it finishes.
Yeah, that's it. Is the contract and design side. So anything bespoke counters, what you might see in schools, universities. Anything in theme parks we've done. Anywhere where there's a front of house where it's going to look a bit nicer than a stainless steel box is where we get involved. We get involved from total design, so you've got some concept designs here on the screen. So we've got an in-house designer who produce these types of drawings. So the process will be, the salesman will have the meeting with the customer will give a brief of what they want. That then comes back to Pat, who in her design mind comes up with this, I don't know if she does it, and that will go back to the customer. Now that's a free of charge, which again in this industry is unheard of. Some of our dealers will charge probably £200, £300 a time for that drawing, so it puts them in good stead that way. And all the time we're just adding value to the customer, which is where we do well. On a yearly basis, we're complete probably over 300 jobs a year, so that's averages about 5-6 a week. We've got 3 install teams up at Laurel Street who install them counters. So going forward, we've also got the shop fitting house up there. Now the shop fit house also sort of do all the counter fronts, so anything like the fronts of these. But our shop fit also do all the tops for the Costa counters, the fronts, and all the tops and fronts for the Greggs counters as well. So at the minute, you'll not see that section, but at the minute as well, that's just bank capacity. So we're looking to invest in a CNC machine soon on that, which will help definitely with capacity and also help with going forward and what we can do in-house. We've got 3 estimators up there who, on a yearly basis, they tend to quote about 1,100 jobs a year, which is massive. Our hit rate on this type of product is anywhere between 20 and 30%, so a lot of what they do goes in the bin. So we're trying to cut that down as well and just work a bit smarter. And as I mentioned before, what add value to a customer, and where we do well is if a customer hasn't got the capability to produce its own drones, to do its own site surveys, to project manage things, that's where we come in. And we're all packaged, so we'll survey, we'll specify the jobs, like I mentioned, we'll go to site, we'll measure up, we'll talk to the customer about finishes and what they want and the design and the layout. We'll then produce the design drawings. Off the back of the drawings, once that's all done, we'll then produce a planned and a detailed quote. So every nut and bolt is quoted, so that's not going to change unless the customer changes it 15,000 times, which again happens on a regular basis. We'll then contract manage that job. We've got a contracts manager on the south, Luke Slater, who they look after any jobs south of Birmingham. And at the minute, Danny is doing all the north ones as well as his day job and cleaning and everything else. So again, the contracts manager, they'll liaise with, if it's a building firm, they'll liaise with a building firm. They'll do all the RAMs, they'll do all the CDM side of it. If there's any M&A contractors, they'll liaise with them as well. The install, which I've mentioned, we'll do on site, but it doesn't stop there. The aftermarket after that is we'll commission the counter, and then the salesman gets back involved, and the salesman will then do any training, any staff training, anything like that. And again, that tends to go now in health and safety manuals on each site. Just some examples. So this is a concept design we just did down in Cambridge. Cambridge Uni. So this is the original concept that Pat come up with off the brief from the customer. And on the right hand side there you can see it actually being installed on site. So for us it's quite satisfying to see it from a bit of paper to actually being on site. And we'll go back once that's all installed and get some pictures actually being used. So it's quite a satisfying part of the business. It's not just moving boxes. These are just some examples of some counters we've done in the back in different sectors. So this beauty here is in Liverpool. It's a burrito bar, and the gentleman, he imported 2 containerfuls of doors from India. Now we're thinking he's going to break them down and use the planks on the front of his counter. No, he put the whole doors on the counter. So you see there's locks, there's handles, there's hinges and everything, but look quite nice. So something just a little bit different. The top picture there is Durham University, Bill Bryson, so more traditional university type, campus type coffee bar. The one on the right is Network Rail. Yeah. That's a staff canteen, that one, isn't it? Yeah, staff canteen in that one, and as you can see, our staff canteen doesn't look like that. It doesn't, does it? Not yet. This one is Hilton Hotel in Sunderland.
The bottom one there on the right, the bottom one there on the right, the frontages on that, we had to have those specially made. They're actually curved glass, so they're all curved glass frontages on those counters.
Yeah, and again, that was when was that one? Come on, let's say it was
Coventry, I think. Yeah, the top one was in York and the bottom was in Coventry.
Yeah, so you see the different range of finishes. I mean, it's endless. We can build whatever the customer wants, which the Danny's just made at times. And going forward, we're also obviously we'll keep an eye on the trends, the super trends out there. We've been through trends like hot dog was a super trend for a bit. Burrito bars, we did 1 million burrito bars. Burgers were a trend for a bit. Street food is still kicking on, so we'll try to keep products based on them. The next big trend that we see coming is these micro markets where people are coming away from a standard servery type, canteen type service, and it's all self-serve, but self-serve with a difference. So it's different from vending, as in it's not, if you go on a vending machine, it's not crisps, stuff like that. It's healthy, fresh food. So this is going to be the next big thing. So we're looking to launch these micro markets in a few weeks at Hotel Olympia, and it's basically it's a modular housing system which we'll build in house. 90% of what you see will be built in house, which keeps it in our hands as well. There's a commonality to it, which again keeps the cost down, allows you to make a bit more margin on it, makes it nice and easy for the estimators. We're not chucking more work in there for them. So this is going to be the next big thing. And other than that, if you've got any questions, just speak to Danny. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Look, thanks again for that. Obviously a really diverse product range and quite a diverse, I guess, service level, route to market, etc. What, I guess, best practice and manufacturing processes you have to implement to make sure that you're getting what you need to where it needs to be on time, in full, and all that sort of good manufacturing stuff?
I think it's a constant effort to keep changing that as well. And to be fair, Aaron, since Aaron come in, we're bringing in more processes and procedures throughout the route. Again, you'll see at the minute we're pretty much governed by the space we've got, and there's only one way we can manufacture, just because there's no other way to fit it into the building. So that's something we're looking at. But with regards to processes, we're running things like inline testing throughout the key stages throughout the production. And like I said, going back to what we mentioned about the testing as well. Every product's tested. But it's hard to manage the space we've got.
Yeah.
The other big thing that we've had to do, and that we've worked on from Mike's perspective as well, from a manufacturing point of view, and a CAD point of view, we've invested heavily in 3D CAD and 3D modelling. So we've done that, and that's gave us and full integration. So all the way through from the design stage, all the way through manufacturing, all the way through programming, through manufacturing, through final assembly. We've got full integration now. So we can have a drawing, a 3D model of a product. We can unfold that product. We can download that product onto the machine. And then the operator will produce what's in front of him on the machine. So we've got full integration now all the way through that process, and that's took us quite a number of years to get to that. But what that's given us, it's given us a good quality product, consistency of product, and dimensions and everything. So from a point of view of then in assembly, everything goes together a lot easier, a lot quicker, a lot smoother, with a minimum of problems. But that took us a number of years to get to that point. It's been an expensive investment and process to get in place, but it has paid dividends at the end. And one of the things that it's also the biggest competitive advantage that has given us has been with customers like Greggs and Costa. We can bring a new product now to market within weeks. I mean, before it probably would have taken us upwards of 12 months, and literally now within weeks we can have a new product to market and in a customer's retail outlet within a number of weeks. We do more or less all the design and development work for Greggs, for all their counter systems and future counter systems. We'll produce something, then we'll take it up to their test room and work with their food science people up at their test room to make sure that that's fine, and then we can have a product then in one of their shops probably within 6 to 8 weeks. And before that took quite a time. We've just designed a full range of counter systems for Costa Coffee that we're currently rolling out throughout the UK, and I think from start to finish, from the initial design work to getting prototypes in front of Costa in their development room, probably 16 weeks at the most. And we've got a full range out there now, something like probably 9 or 10 models in place that are currently getting rolled out throughout the UK now. Whereas before, without that investment and without that process, we wouldn't have been able to do that.
And it's led to effectively a turnkey solution that you
Yeah.
can offer to any of these businesses that you
Yeah.
work with, and obviously lead to scalability as well.
Yeah.
I was going to ask a question on the bigger schemes where you might be doing a new university campus or a NHS trust, and you're working with a bigger design team with an architect and civil structure. Are you adopting sort of BIM?
Yes. Yes, we're just working. We're in the process. We've got our system, our models on CISA BIM and FSEM BIM. CISA BIM is the UK platform, and then FSEM BIM is the European platform. And actually, we've got a new design engineer that starts at the end of this month, and he's totally dedicated to going back through all our legacy products to get those into a format that we can actually upload onto that system. So that's a big project for us that we've got coming forward. We've got a number of projects. We've got a number of products that we've got in there, and we work with a company called Specify who manage the platform. And it's going forward. It's going to be a big thing that. If you've not got your products on there, then basically you're not going to get specified as a consultant or anything. So we've invested. We've got a new guy starting. I think beginning of month, but that will be his job, just to go through all our legacy items and get them. As Steve said, we've probably got 1,200 products and thousands of variants. So it's going to be somebody just dedicated full time to getting that done.
And just ahead of back in Britain next week, I suppose, and that's going to be with obviously a training provider in the area. I know that staffing has been something we've spoken to you about in the past. What approach have you taken to, I guess, getting the workforce on board with these new changes? Because I guess reassuring people and implementing the change.
So what we try to do where possible, where we've got opportunities in-house, we offer those opportunities up. But we also have a regular program of bringing in, we'll bring a group of apprentices in every 2 or 3 years, and we'll work them through the system, and then they tend to come through. We've got a handful of individuals within various areas of business now that have come through from apprentices, and most of them have ended up into technical or supervisory roles, and we're continually doing that. We've got a young girl who was just coming out of her apprenticeship now. She's just won the Apprentice of the Year through our trade association, and won a trip to the NRA trade show in Chicago later on in the year. So we do that, and then if we identify we've got a skills gap, then obviously we'll look externally to recruit for that. But wherever possible, we try and offer positions up internally and offer development on internally as well.
Fantastic.
But over the last 6 to 8 weeks, we've had a bit of a recruitment program, and I think we've brought about 12 new people into business within last quarter. So we've had a bit of a growth program. So hopefully, touch wood.
I think the prime example of that is probably Danny. You started. Where did you start?
Oh yeah, Danny started
an apprentice engineering role.
Yeah.
Worked, but I wasn't just dedicated to that. I was given the opportunity to go and spend time in different departments throughout the business, and gave me a good grounding. And then an opportunity came up in management, which I went for and took, and just gone from there really. Just sort of running the site up there pretty much.
And the person who's just won the Apprentice of the Year award, Brooke works on our shop floor, and she's actually a welder fabricator on our shop floor. And she's shortly, as Danny did, she's shortly going to be moving into different areas within the business, and then we'll see where Brooke ends up from there, or what opportunities come up as we go along.
So it really is a best practice sort of employee engagement piece, and marrying that with the new changes to optimise what you're doing, but making sure that the guys that you've got the bedrock of the business are bought into that.
And we work with other training and providers and that, kits, people like that at Brighouse, Apri, up on Sticker Lane and that. So we tap into resources and that as well. So yeah.
Hire within the family where possible as well.
The dogs.
As well, though, it's not just recruitment. I think you need to have engagement with your existing workforce. So we've got a monthly newsletter where we actually ask each department to put something forward. So we can have a bit of a discussion and highlight like his external sales team, what's going on, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So if they get a full picture, even the guys who build the standard products get a picture of what's happening at the contracts, and they get a picture of what's happening down here. Otherwise, not us work against each other.
I think one of the important things for us, you know, with our history of being a family business and being in trust, and again a family business now, is that we've always taken the view of to look after our people and to bring them along with whatever we're doing, and we're small enough to sort of do that, so we know everybody on site. When we say a company of people, that's really what it's about. It's not about, you know, some people, you know, aren't more important than others. The whole lot of the people that work here contribute to the end of it, and it's in everyone's best interest to do that. So everyone's keyed into the same aims, and we try and do that. The things that are good for the business, we try and relate those key factors right the way through the business. So I take an example of my first time as manufacturing director, I'm responsible for that, but right through the guys that are doing the departmental, the supervisors, the guys on the shop floor, they all have that same target. So we're all pulling in the same direction instead of, you know, in different directions. In that way, we can maximise the effort of everybody towards what's best for the business.
Yeah, I think that's the key, isn't it? It's staying ahead of the game in terms of continuous improvement, being at the forefront of the market, so what you're doing works and is viable, but still, as you say, engaging with the existing workforce so everybody's happy.
I mean, as you saw from the presentation, what Steve did, we've seen quite a bit of growth over the last few years. That growth's not all down to products. A lot of that growth's down to the people within the business. From the shop floor, the management team, to the external sales team. And we've probably bucked the trend quite a bit over years, and we're probably doing the same this year. We'll show significant growth this year in a market that's in decline, and some of our competitors are struggling significantly. But from a point of view of business performance, this will probably be we'll perform better this year than we've probably done in the last 5 years. And it's tough at the minute, but a lot of that's down to the people in the business and the new product development that we've got going through. We've got our own internal product development department. So all the products that you've seen today, all the products that we put out there in the market that are Victor products, plus the ones that we do for Costa and Greggs and Subway and other people like that, they're all designed, built and tested in-house. So we try and keep all that in-house and do it ourselves as well. There are one or two products that we've got to show you today that we've brought in, and we actually push in as part of our range. But it's new technology as well, and it's technology that we are looking to tap into as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully you'll find it quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was fascinated to see that slide about micro trends. You're obviously looking at disruption in the market. I must have met about 6 food companies in the last couple of weeks, and kind of understanding what the change was in their space, and it was kind of the threat of Asian swine flu putting the price of pork up by about 20%, but then the rise of vegetarianism, veganism, free from, all of those. Do you see those as kind of change dynamics? I mean, Greggs was at the forefront.
They are change dynamics. I think the big thing you're going to see coming now in the next couple of years is the micro market concept, and also and all the bigger chains are all starting to get on the back of this now. Some quicker than others. Some are already on it. Out of town, drive-through, quick drive-through concepts, Deliveroo, heat, all the fast food concepts. So you'll see little drive-through type hubs opening up, but from that hub, you'll see at the back of that, You'll see the public going through one side. At the back of it, there'll be Deliveroo collections and that. It's going to be that's where it's going. People will be ordering things on the phone, on the go. They'll get off the tube. They'll walk through the tube station. There'll be a little kiosk. They'll go and collect their cup of coffee or the latte and the pan of chocolate or whatever it is, and away they'll go and as eating on the go. That's the big thing that all these retail type organisations are looking at and pushing and jumping on the back of. And to go with that will be the dark kitchens. That's already starting to happen in the bigger city and London areas. So around London, in various key positions, you'll see these little dark kitchen areas. Some will be a little industrial unit that will produce. They might produce for different chains. It might be Wagamama's, it might be Your Sushi or different brands. And they'll supply. Delivery will come in and collect and go from one kitchen area. And then you'll get others where the big brands won't collaborate with other people, but they'll have their own small kitchen. It might be just a big car park that they've converted into a quick grab and go concept area, and there'll be mobile kitchen areas, each brand, but Deliveroo then will go and collect and deliver within local area for whatever brand it is. That's already happening, but it'll spread throughout the country in a bigger way. So you'll see that coming now.
That's all being pushed by people's eating habits.
Yeah.
Changing. People are coming away from the traditional 3 meals a day. I think there's only 8% of people actually eat breakfast at home now. So it's all being pushed by that. Yeah. Exactly like the micro markets.
Yeah. I had an interesting conversation before we came in here, and I'm not sure how many younger people know how to cook now anyway, because I think most of them get takeaways, and it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and that's the way it's getting pushed down this grab and go quick food mobile apps. Costa are pushing it big. Greggs are already trialling it and pushing it big. We've just done a new trial shop up at Coatbridge near Glasgow, a whole new Greggs concept. It's the first Greggs shop, Greggs store that they've opened up that they do any actual live cooking on site. And again, it's sort of app applications. You'll go in, it'll just be a fancy screen, boom, boom, boom. Just pay with your card and away you go. Just quick, 2 minutes in, out. That's what they're looking for. Even in a standard Greggs store at the moment, they're looking for a 2-minute turnaround. The counter systems have all gone. We used to, 5-6 years ago, we used to produce big counter systems, 1800 to 3 meters long. Now, small counter systems, anything from 400, 600 wide, big till systems, multiple tills, grab and go display at the front, and they just want you in and out as quickly as possible, and just no queues, just a quick turnaround, and that's all it's all geared up to that now. Yeah.
Is that those dark kitchens and things like that? Is that how your customers are seeing the decline of like the retail space? Because obviously everyone's talking about how high streets are falling, and
well,
that's the backside,
yeah,
the other side of it.
That's the other side of it. Yeah. The strong brands are still doing well. However, they are downscaling. And then you've got some super brands like Costa that are rapidly expanding. They've been took over by Coca-Cola, so they've got a massive expansion plan, not just in the UK, but on a worldwide basis really. But it's changed. That's changed for them because they're focusing in the UK all about the coffee, the coffee shop, the experience of going and having that coffee. It's not about that now with them. On a worldwide basis, it's all about the brand, it's all about the drink, and it's all about getting that drink in everybody's hand. So yeah, there's still the cafe experience, but that's not as important now as getting that brand out there, and you'll see that a lot more in terms of Costa, and I think you'll see other people moving the same way really. Yeah.
again, that just stems from the eating trend at the minute. The high street's struggling. It's not just the high street. You take the brewery groups as well.
Yeah.
This year they've gotten dead. I think wet sales are up, but the food is just dying to death. Again, it's just people aren't eating that. People can't afford to eat it.
Wet sales are up because of, I think, from my business, we're seeing it we're in the glass manufacturing area, and so we're seeing glass bottles being a massive push into diversification of product shelf. So they want a glass bottle that stands out really nice. So that probably feeds through to like craft gins, craft vodkas, all those kind of things, which is probably where the wet foods is. But like you said, the food market seems to be just not doing as well for those guys.
We have some good annual contracts with some of the brewery companies, but I've got to say this last year, the number of we were putting 1 to a week in at one point. We're lucky if we see one every quarter at the minute, but it's really dropped off antique from a brewery point of view at the moment. Yeah.
Any further questions from anyone?
I've forgotten to introduce Rob, sorry.
Cheers.
Rob Powell, company secretary. No one knows what he used to do. Even Rob doesn't know what he used to do. Some of drains and that. And when he gets nervous, he squeaks.